In a context wherein organizations and professionals are situated to respond to the challenges of the new normal brought about by COVID-19 pandemic, how do human resource management and development practitioners proceed with appropriate approaches to ensure the structural sustainability and workforce efficiency? In the Department of Education, wherein is restructuring and reprogramming happened, how can its human resource management and development endeavors be further assessed and improved in the process? I am Christian Voltaire Metin, and with me is Lavinia Metin. We are here to discuss a research paper titled SGOD Interface Link Design. An epochal transition emerged in the Philippine educational frontier as the government of the Republic of the Philippines responded to the challenges of the fast-changing conditions in the local and global environment. In October 4, 2004, the Executive Order number 366 was signed to direct a strategic review of the operations and organizations of the executive branch as well as the rationalization of its agencies and functions. After some technical reviews, revisions, and consultations, the DepEd Rationalization Plan was approved by the Department of Budget Management in 2013. Resulting from thorough study of DepEd Change Management Team, the new organizational structures of the Central, Regional, and Schools Division Offices of DepEd was put into effect in 2015. DepEd Order Number 52, Series 2015 followed through and paved the way for the implementation of DepEd Rationalization Program. Affected by constant changes and emerging challenges from the internal and external environment, including the COVID-19 pandemic crisis, DepEd develops strategies and adopted policies to better serve its stakeholders. Since the inception of K-12 basic education and rationalization program, it pursues significant breakthroughs such as the adoption and implementation of professional standards for teachers, school heads, and supervisors. Moreover, basic education and strategic and learning recovery plans are implemented to carry out its vision, mission, and goals in the new normal. The implementation of DepEd Rationalization Program brings major changes in the organizational structure of schools division offices. A compendium of office functions and job descriptions version 2 is released to augment and institutionally strengthening of the agency and provide detailed indicators in performing office functions, duties, and responsibilities. In addition, the challenges of the new normal conditions brought about by the COVID-19 pandemic have to be addressed to sustain the provision of quality basic education services among stakeholders and Filipino learners. Thus, the research study responds to the call for the convergence of governance and operations as to take action to the pressing needs of the agency in the new normal. Moreover, to strategize institutional excellence and transformative solutions such as organizational alignment, quality management system, and internal structure review. It aims to provide an interface link design for the school governance and operations division based on systems thinking model. In doing so, it seeks to review functions, duties, and responsibilities and key result areas of the 7 sections under SGOD as to identify connecting lines and clear interaction points among them. First, this study plots the functional interconnectivity within SGOD office and sections. It provides clearer understanding on the differing roles that each section contributes. In doing so, it also highlights valuable line of cooperation, collaboration, and solidarity among them as one SGOD team that supports and capacitates schools and learning centers. Second, it brings forth an approach to review and assess organizational relationships and interactions in a functional division, as well as to map out how the office and sections interact, connect, and integrate within the SGOD structure of the schools division office. Third, it shows an application of a systems thinking framework to establish interface design in the practice of organizational and human resource management and development in DepEd, particularly SGOD as a functional division. Fourth, it supports and augments the sustainability agenda and recovery plan of the agency in the new normal. Studies which directly taking in or published on the same research subject matter are considered minimal to none. However, archival manuscripts are very much available in the area of institutional issuances such as the DepEd Compendium, DepEd Orders, as well as published electronic and printed resource materials that are relevant to the study. They are sufficient and substantial in the formulation of necessary concepts and enunciations to develop an innovative SGOD interface link design. The research study incorporates significant influential works such as studies on systems thinking, document analysis, social sciences and education philosophies, and organization and human resource development. Among them include Peter Sinch, the fifth discipline, Carol Wojtyła's The Acting Person, Albert Bandura's Social Foundations of Thought and Action, and Jerry Harvey's The Abilene Paradox and other meditations on management. Systems exist everywhere and influence everything that organisms do. However, as humans, institutions, and society evolve in time, so do systems. Applied in studies, the systems thinking framework as a lens to enable to see various components involved in an institutional structure, particularly the School Governance and Operations Division of DepEd Schools Division of Oriental Mindoro. It prompts the navigation of Sgod documentary print and marks to determine several accesses on how to facilitate collaboration and cooperation within the organization. In this study, the concepts and principles of systems thinking are applied to give light to organizational interconnectivity as a coherent whole and different acting components. The DepEd Compendium is the primary manuscript of the research. The study utilizes documentary research analysis and approach to offer the exploration of the existing manuscript pertaining to the Sgod office and section functions, duties, and responsibilities. As a qualitative research, the study uses documentary inquiry and content analysis through coding process that first identifies the categorical components within Sgod structure, second determines the interrelations entailed among categorical characteristics, and third identifies interconnecting and cooperative functions within the organizational duties and functions. The research design follows the input, process, output paradigm wherein the DepEd Compendium serves as primary material, the input. Then the documentary analysis through coding approach to analyze and describe the organizational functions, characteristics, and interconnections evident in the compendium as the process. An interface link design of Sgod organizational structure as the output. The Sgod office, which main purpose is to support and capacitate schools and learning centers in ensuring a conducive learning environment and in compliance to quality standards, is expected to manage support services, planning and research, community-level linkages and partnerships, human resource development, and quality assurance. These 5 purposive functions are coded as SOPF1 to SOPF2, F3, F4, and F5 respectively. The Sgod aims to perform 22 governance and operations tasks to carry out its purposive functions. They are coded as SOPT1 to SOPT22, pertaining to the respective arrangement of the objectives in the compendium. The Sgod sections, namely education facilities, human resource development, planning and research, school health and nutrition, school management monitoring and evaluation, social mobilization and networking, and youth formation, perform in accordance with the office's purposive functions and targeted performances. They are coded as EF, HRD, PER, SHN, SMME, SMN, and YF respectively. And their corresponding functions and targets are affixed as PF and TF with indicated number. For example, EFPF1 for Education Facilities Section, first purposive function, or HRD TP2 for Human Resource Development Section, second target performance. Aside from office functions, there are assigned key positions which include Chief Education Supervisor, Education Program Supervisor, Senior Education Specialist, Medical Officer, Planning Officer, Engineer, Education Program Specialist, Nurses, Project Development Officers. They are coded as CES, ES, SEPS, MO, PO, ENG, EPS, NRS, PDO, respectively. The key positions have their respective job summary and KRAs, which are coded as CESJS and CES-KRA for the Chief Education Supervisor job summary and key result areas. The other key position coding follows, including the indicated number of KRAs inscribed in the compendium, but with reference to their assigned section. For example, PRPO KRA2 for Planning and Research Section Planning Officer 2nd KRA, or HRD EPS KRA3 for Human Resource Development Section Education Program Specialist 3rd KRA. The assigned key personnel with the Sgod organization have particular duties and responsibilities. They are coded pertaining to their respective section, position, KRA, and referring to the number of duties and responsibilities. For example, SHNMO KRA3-DR5 for the School Health and Nutrition Section, Medical Officer, 3rd KRA, and 5th duty and responsibility. For another example, SMN PDO KRA2-DR6 for the Social Mobilization and Networking Project Development Officer 2nd KRA and 6th duty and responsibility as indicated in the compendium manuscript. As all components with the Sgod office are described according to their respective functions and characteristics. The intersection of the purposive functions, targeted performances, KRA's job summary, and duties and responsibilities, the selective process of identifying and determining the commonalities and shared elements ensue. The process is crucial in the plotting and mapping out of the SGOD interface design. This is where the specific collaborative and cooperative efforts within the SGOD structure emerge and develop to provide support and constructive feedback, thus making impact to the whole organizational scheme. For example, the HRDS SEPS KRA1 DR1 is connected with PRS SEPS KRA3 DR3, which both concerns the review and analysis of researches for policy recommendation, formulation, and implementation. Another example is SMME SEPS KRA2 DR5 and PRS SEPS KRA1 DR4, which characterizes the provision of monitoring and evaluation process for organizational improvement and effectiveness. The SGOD interface design is achieved as all possible interconnectivity components, indicators, and factors are explicitly accessed and analyzed through the textual imprint of the compendium. The complex SGOD landscape evidently embedded in DepEd compendium is mapped out, external functions and elements as well as the occurring patterns of interaction within each subsystems. This innovative interface link design within the SGOD human resource structure presents the interactive, connective, and integrative capacity of complex workplace that can be replicated and not separated to similar and other existing systems involved therein, such as the SD organization and human resource structure with its three functional divisions, the Office of the Schools Division Superintendent, the Office of the Curriculum Implementation Division, and the Office of the School Governance and Operations Division. The study concludes that to improve DepEd internal systems, policies, and processes, an interface link design based on systems thinking brings forth a guide and tool in understanding how its existing workforce structure accommodate contemporary strategic plans and forethought endeavors. The interface link design promotes a beneficial response to the challenges brought about by changes in the organizational structure in DepEd since the inception and implementation of its rationalization program. Moreover, an innovation to synergize organizational components, capability, and capacity in an ever-challenging world. Responding to the call to assess the alignment in organizational and human resource management and development, the utilization of systems thinking framework and documentary research through coding process to identify and analyze functional purpose and characteristics attest that every component and characteristics of those belonging to an institution has valuable contribution to offer, that is to reinforce, balance, capacitate, give feedback, and appreciation in overall performance of the whole organizational workplace, especially in the new normal. As an innovation to assist and support in the delivery of quality education service, the study further concludes that a basis for the interface feature among and within the three functional divisions, the Office of the School Division Superintendent, the Office of the Curriculum Implementation Division, and the Office of the SGOD, is established. However, among the recommendations to extend the endeavor into new heights are the following. Hermeneutical approaches may also be applied as to determine the meaning and interpretation of the compendium to provide a distinctive and potential interactive patterns. Actual surveys and focus group discussions among practitioners are significant for validation and appeal to the experiential level. Third, since SGOD organic composition is part of a larger system, collaborative and cooperative interface among and within DepEd Schools Division Office and its functional divisions can be done through the established model in the study. Fourth, the development and use of ICT software applications can be pursued and support a digital interface platform. Fifth, the approach can be replicated to study interface dynamics of the domains, strands, and indicators of the Philippine Professional Standards for Teachers, Philippine Professional Standards for School Heads, Philippine Professional Standards for Supervisors of the Department of Education. And the last one, the study as a guide and tool for organization and human resource management and development endeavor can be further utilized in strengthening the built-in and strategic structure of workplace in the new normal. Now, acknowledgement is given to the LaSalle University, the Research Conference 2022 organizers and teams for allowing this study to be presented. Moreover, to the Department of Education, the Schools Division of Oriental Mindoro, the School Governance and Operations Division, and the Human Resource Development Section for inspiration and support in the completion of this paper. And here are our references. Once again, thank you very much. Thank you for listening.